Does battery capacity equate to overall battery life? Is fast charging a legitimate feature? How does power efficiency even work for smartphones? These are some questions that some people may get confused with when talking about battery life. So for now, we've decided to dig into this a bit with a freshly released smartphone presenting the vivo Y100. This phone shines in providing excellent user experiences with long-lasting performance. This smartphone packs a generous 5,000 mAh battery, which is huge considering its relatively thin frame. However, we do have to tell you that a large battery capacity does not equal power efficiency. Several parts of a smartphone contribute to how the phone operates, which includes the chipset, charging protocol, and software optimization. Even your charging brick or adapter provided with your device plays into this, by the way. Additionally, we've prepared some data gathered from the device itself through various tests. What up guys, Mikael here from Yugatech, and let's get right into power endurance, battery life, and charging with the vivo Y100. What exactly is a chipset? Some would argue or insist that it's simply a processor, but it's a bit more complex than that. A chipset is a traffic enforcer. To elaborate, it manages how data flows between several components running your phone. It helps the processor's cores, graphics card, memory, and storage run together smoothly. Think of it as the glue that holds the family together. Back to the vivo Y100. The phone runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 685, a 6nm chipset, and this chipset is notably optimized for power efficiency, with the Y100 offering users 8GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. Oh, and by the way, storage is also expandable of up to 1TB via a hybrid microSD card slot. This chipset has 8 cores consisting of 4 ARM Cortex A73 performance cores running at up to 2.8 GHz and 4 power-efficient ARM Cortex A53 cores running at up to 1.9 GHz. But how does this help the Y100 charge better? At a certain capacity, the chipset can monitor charging speeds and device temperature to help your phone perform well. Managing power is also greatly supported by Vivo's 80-watt flash charge technology with a supercharged pump feature, so you guys better make sure to use the device's respective charging bricks. This charging protocol optimizes your charging rates while also favoring the overall battery health and span of the vivo Y100. But to explain further, here's a table to explain how the charging protocol via power output works. When the Y100 charges at full throttle, it charges up with 80 watts as advertised. But keep in mind, this is the device's peak output. Concerning the lower numbers at the bottom, it illustrates how the output can cut down to as low as 18 watts, which is expected to happen when your phone reaches about 80 to 90% of battery life. Second, when the chipset recognizes it's taking too much power, it's designed to take in less input wattage to keep the battery healthy. Taking less power is a safety measure against overheating, which could harm the battery and ultimately the device. In simpler terms, it's a charging protocol that understands you need power but knows better than to hurt itself. So no, your phone does not go through moments of melancholy and decide to go all emo. For reference, these software-specific optimizations are featured under FunTouchOS 14. Under the Battery tab in Settings, you'll see a bar of your battery life and how much uptime it has. Users also have toggles for Battery Saver and Super Battery Saver. Enabling Battery Saver will limit or turn off background activities, some visual effects, and certain features. As for Super Battery Saver, it restricts the functionality of your phone and lowers its overall performance. Take note, only a number of apps are available to use under this mode. Below this toggle, there's also a button that tells you whether or not your apps are performing normally. However, if apps end up using too much, the Y100 will suggest taking actions here. Moving on, we have a button for background power consumption management. Most apps are usually set to Smart Control, automatically adjusting the app's background activity according to your usage habits. Users also get options to restrict or not restrict an app's background activity, which could affect power consumption. Next, we have a tab for battery health and charging, which is pretty straightforward. It gives you a rundown of your maximum battery capacity with toggles for fast charging and optimizing battery life. Out of the box, the Vivo Y100 is set to optimize battery life, learning your charging habits to make smart adjustments. As for the fast charging toggle, it gives a warning that turning it on will make the phone warmer faster. If users disable this, charging speed will be adjusted if the device temperature becomes too high. As for the last option, we have battery style and percentage. This is essentially a user interface setting. Users can choose a logo orientation for how they want to view the current battery level, opting for vertical, landscape, or circular battery indicators that you can see on the top right of the phone's display. And users can also toggle between battery percentage indicators to be able to choose whether or not they want to see the actual number of battery percentage available. They can even choose to display it outside or inside the battery icon. At the bottom of the battery tab under settings, the Y100 shows a graph of users' weekly battery usage. It shows their uptime since the device was last fully charged, along with the current screen time. Additionally, there's also a leaderboard below for power consumption rankings. Users can view this by apps or by systems. The Vivo Y100 is powered by a 5000 mAh battery featuring the aforementioned 80-watt of flash charge technology with a supercharged pump feature. We took the liberty to take some practical tests for the Y100, and we're here with the results from mixed usage variables. First, in PCMark's Work 3.0 battery life test, the Vivo Y100 performed for 16 hours and 8 minutes. As for our video loop test, the device had a solid uptime of 21 hours and 40 minutes. These two tests were conducted in airplane mode with the phone set to 50% brightness and volume muted. To a certain extent, I think the Vivo Y100's 120Hz AMOLED display played a part in these great battery results. This is because AMOLED panels save power when displaying the color black by turning off corresponding pixels throughout the display, which is why always-on displays are a big hit with AMOLED panels. But on to the next test. We focused on gaming. We found that the Y100 can provide users with 7 hours and 19 minutes of gameplay. This test was conducted with brightness and volume set to 50% over a Wi-Fi connection. I also have to give my props to the Y100's dual stereo speaker and audio booster for this. It made for an enjoyable gaming experience overall. I should also mention that this phone features up to 300% in volume increase, but also leads to distortion at the max level. But anyways, I'm sure people are probably thinking, how fast does the phone charge from 0%? To monitor this, we recorded the phone while timing it at notable intervals every 15 minutes. We also conducted this test with Vivo's 80-watt flash charging brick. Charging with the Vivo Y100 smart charging toggled on, the phone takes 1 hour and 4 minutes to charge from 0 to 100%. But with 80 watts of flash charge toggled on, the Vivo Y100 takes about 40 minutes to recharge from 0 to 100%. But judging from the results, the phone does get the full 80 watts of charging in the first 30 minutes. It slows down after the phone reaches a threshold of around 60% of power but speeds up again within minutes. We inferred that it slows down again around 90%, only trickling the remaining output from the adapter to the phone. So, with the data we have, we can confirm that Vivo's flash charge technology works as advertised. At this point, we hope you guys understand that battery capacity does not equate to how long your phone should last. As we wrap this up, smartphone engineers should definitely be thrown their bouquet of flowers for consistently improving device power efficiency. As for the Vivo Y100, we can attest that it's a solid pickup for what it offers. It's optimized to perform well with a lot of work put into it behind the scenes. Not to mention, it has a nice photochromic appearance feature that changes the phone's color under UV light. Let me demonstrate that for you guys real quick. I have this sick Baruet flashlight over here that does have a UV light. As you can see, it's quite lime, yellowy. UV charger, UV light, UV light. Oh, there it is. Let's go. Let's go. So obviously this will work under the sun as well. That's basically how it works. I've pretty much colored the phone green at this point. It's kind of like a coloring book. I feel like I could have wrote something as well. Either way, it sports a good chipset complemented by user experience catered system optimizations and a solid battery and charging protocol to boot. These parts work together to give us a well-rounded smartphone with a highly appreciated balance for modest price. Props to Vivo for keeping up the good work and engineering phones for various segments. But what do you guys think about the Vivo Y100? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit yugotech.com and follow us on our socials. That is Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Miguel, and this has been the Vivo Y100. Now back to yellow, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.